Okay, I'm call the meeting to get to order at 4:01 p.m. And anybody wish to speak?
I think Louise is on through the All Point Bulletin. I think I saw her.
Yeah. Okay, well, nobody wants to comment, so let's have an approval of the minutes. Yeah, we approve the minutes of the last meeting. Okay. If you read them all, they were okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, you're approving, I'll second. We're ready for Patty.
Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Okay, so today we have September warrants. Well, thank you, Chief. They total $81,638.06. And that includes the district's liability annual insurance renewal policy. The total for payroll is $17,783.46. That includes Chief Carlton's salary of $5,707.92, along with Chief Shield's pay of $3,433.34. And there was one event for each of the commissioners and the board secretary. The payout for the volunteers, warrants included, is $12,190. And I believe the August financial statements have been handed out for your review. So today I'm requesting the board's approval for the warrants and payroll for September as presented. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
Actually, I think maybe we need some discussion on the bills that were occurred. Chief, you
Yep, absolutely. I'll go over those. So my personal reimbursement for it was for the FRI conference, Fire Rescue International, which was held in Kansas City this year. It's the yearly International Association of Fire Chiefs Conference. Went there. There was roughly 2,000 fire chiefs from all over the world that participated. Went to some great educational opportunities. Had some great networking while I was there as well. And then I got to go see all the toys and all the apparatus that we can't afford on the showroom floor. So that's always fun. But I was able to talk to FirstNet, which is a government contracted part of AT&T to provide cell phone service throughout this nation to emergency services. So I'll have another meeting this month with AT&T FirstNet to see if they have plans of putting up a tower here potentially. Some of that reimbursement, though, was for the plane ticket and also meal reimbursements, my daily reimbursement for that. McNeil and Company, $43,546 was the now cost of the district's insurance to protect every asset that we own, including the building and the apparatus, and then additional things on top of that as too. So we went over that last meeting, I believe, with Tony Kelly. So that has been approved and that's being paid. So that was a huge chunk. Wex Fuel, obviously, SNR Law Office. Brian's been helping me with certain things, plus has participated in the meeting. So that's part of that cost. Striker sales, so the $6,700, a 3-year contract. Striker is our gurney. The county does our gurney. Sorry, I misspoke. The county does our gurney for maintenance purposes, but this deals with every automatic external defibrillator that we have. Our LifePak 15s, all of the AEDs, all the public AEDs that we have out in the public, the church, the grocery store, the community center, the library, golf course, in the marina as well, and then the Parks Ranger, the Parks Ranger at Lighthouse as well. So a lot of AEDs. Excuse me, just one second. So a lot of AEDs within the confounds of this district. So every year it costs us $6,700 currently, and that goes up every year, to have a technician come up here and upgrade, go through all of our AEDs, make sure that they're functioning correctly. He came up yesterday, spent basically 9 hours here. Yesterday, all of our AEDs came into the station, so we went out in the public and we gathered them all up, brought them in here. He updates the programming in them and anything else. If anything he finds wrong, he'll get us a replacement while like it's getting fixed. And we have one LifePak 15, which is our big cardiac monitors. It's a version 2, I believe. Now they're on version 4 or vice versa, which will be needing a special contract. So that'll be in addition to any of this potentially. Plus, its life surface capability is coming to an end. So the new LifePak will be coming out probably in the next year, if not sooner. And then we'll have to look at potentially putting that into a secondary role or trading it in for the newest version of the LifePak. So it'll be the LifePak, whatever, 18, 20, whatever it's named.
And we only need one.
We have 2. So Chief Shields carries one in his vehicle, and the 858 has one as well. So if we kept the old one, depending on the type of trade-in value that we would get it towards a new one, then that potentially could go into 85802. The reason why we have 2 is because if 858 transports to Bellingham, we want a second LifePak 15 in the community for 12 lead capability, which will let us know if people are having a heart attack, et cetera. So we want that, and that's why we have 2. Smith Mechanical, was that the generator? Oh, that was the air. So we had a situation with the air. Our compressor was low. We brought them out over a very hot weekend that I was hosting a training here, and they had to come out and fix our air handler outside, or air conditioner, and put a lot of Freon in, unfreeze our air handler upstairs, which got frozen up because we were trying to push and cool this place down. And it froze up. So they came out on 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning, which was very nice of them. And by 9 o'clock, it was very cool in here for the 40 participants that were taking part in the course that we were hosting. Smith Mechanical, the credit card was $14,097, and that includes the capital metal equipment. So medical devices was 2 new UE scopes. That's the $3,700. UE scope, that's how it's spelled. So the letter U, E, and then scope. Those are our video laryngoscopes to intubate our patients if necessary, to pass a tube down their trachea. And we had an old UE scope, which was at its lifespan. I think we've put that on 85802 now, just as a very much of a backup. But the 2 new UE scopes were $1,500 plus supplies each. So that's where the $3,700 comes from. Saltwater Cafe, that was the class that we hosted with the 40 professionals. It was a Mayday class or a workshop. Mayday is the signifier for when a firefighter gets in trouble, when we have to rescue our own, and or a firefighter falls through a floor, whatever be the case, it's a Mayday. And we had 3 instructors come from outside, one from Houston, Texas, one from Las Vegas, a captain from Las Vegas, and then we had a retired battalion chief come in from Olympia Fire, and we hosted that. The class itself was hosted through a grant that we received, and so that was paid for. But the food and stuff is where the cost comes from the cafe to host the 40 participants here. So we had 2 full days of good food. And everybody was very happy, especially the second day, since we had air conditioning, and it was one of those time frames where it was 80 degrees outside. So everybody was cold the second day, but I wasn't going to turn it up. So everybody suffered being cold the second day. Premier tents. We purchased some more red tents. I think we purchased two 10 by 20s, if I'm not mistaken, in a 10 by or 2 or 3 10 by 20. So that came out of Bellingham. And those are the tents that you see at our events and for CERT practices and anything else that we do out in the public. And then the alert all is the public relations material. So those are the firefighter hats and the little stickers and the coloring books and everything else for kids. So we normally make one solid purchase a year to restock ourselves. And that's the explanation. So I'm happy to explain anything else. Ellen and Curtis, the badges, I forgot to say that one. Obviously, those are badges. So those are firefighter badges that we give to our personnel who have made it past a year within this agency. So when they make a year, we give them a badge to signify that. And that's something that is honored. So it's important to have that. And we ran out. So we needed to order some more. So that's where the badges came from. Anything else, John, that you have on any of that?
Thank you. You have any questions? Okay. We want to make a motion?
Yeah.
Patty, do you have anything else to say about it?
I'm sorry.
No, I don't. Thank you, Chief, for going over those.
Yeah, just the total budget remaining, Patty.
We're not there yet.
Oh, we're not there yet? Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Second. Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you very well. It's been moved and seconded, approval of the warrants and payroll.
It has,
Right,
yes.
and we should itemize what they are, so $81,638.06 for the warrants and $17,783.46 for the payroll. And that leads to a total of,
I don't
No
think I have the total on there.
Yeah,
That's
no
okay.
total.
yeah.
Thank you. Okay, and then I just have a couple other smaller items. One is the budget remaining. As of August 31st, we have 42.35% left of the budget. And that is comparable to 43.95% the same time last year. And I also wanted to give the board just a small update since we are in the middle of our audit for 2020, 21, and 22. That's going quite well. Chief and I and Chief Shields have all either had interaction either via a Teams meeting or email correspondence for different items. And it looks like that's going to be wrapping up fairly shortly. So the auditor's office was able to get to that sooner than we were thinking. So that's great news and all is going well. Yeah. So I'll give a final report once we have our exit interview with Chief Carlton.
So again, the audit's going well. We've been able to provide them everything they've asked for in quick reply and to get them the documents that they needed in addition to what we had already put in. I've had great conversations with the auditor and hopefully it'll be wrapped up here soon and then we'll report back to the commissioners.
Nice conversation. Very, very nice.
Yeah, she's very nice. And it's nice to have somebody that's, you know, understands and is very cordial, very professional,
Yeah.
and is willing to help us become better if necessary as well. So,
It explains very
Yeah.
careful. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay. Is that all you have, Patty?
That concludes everything I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have correspondence, Chief?
We do the correspondence. We had a number of thank you letters because we hosted, I believe, Bill Mersing's was last month. So past Commissioner Bill Mersing, we had his celebration of life. I was unfortunately not able to make it as I was working down south, but Chief Shields represented and there was a great turnout from the community here. at the fire hall. So it was well represented, and to thank, Bill for all the years of service that he gave to this district and to the community and what he helped make this agency become over the years as well. One thing that I would like to say is that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Bill and the decisions that he made at the time. That weren't the most popular decisions to make at the time within the community, but I'm very proud and happy to be here and happy of what we accomplished together, and happy what I'm able to accomplish with my new commissioner panel, as well as we move forward along with Chief Shields. So I have a video of that remembrance, and that may be posted on our website for the public to watch. And I think that would be a nice memorandum for him as well.
Yeah. You want to go into Chief's report?
Yep. There's my Chief's report up on the screen. Chief's report for September of 2023 for the month of August of 2023. We have a recruitment process taking place right now, and we'll be closing out applications around the 21st, 27th of this month, somewhere towards the end of the month. And we hope to have, 20 to 30 applicants that would like to become members. We have a difficult time right now because the Lower Mainland is hiring like a lot, and a lot of their agencies are testing. Most of their testing processes or applications processes in the Lower Mainland will be done and completed before our application is ending too. So those that aren't moving along in the Lower Mainland processes will therefore decide to put an application here to our agency, and we can get a new group of young men and women that would be interested in this agency.
And how many does that end up to be usually?
We normally take a list of 10 to 15 out of the 20 or 30 that apply. Some of those are through application process, but we normally have a strong list of 10 to 15 that we exhaust over the next 6 months, just because of hirings and losing our people as well. So we'll be doing 2 recruitment processes per year. Most likely from this point forward, it'll be September and April of every year. So we do one before summer, and then we do one before winter. So we have a winter list and we have a summer fall list as well. So that's our hopes. I did have 2 people, to bring it up, I guess. I did have 2 people, a husband and wife, who have just moved here. They're both young, 31 and 30. They have a 1-year-old. The wife is a registered RN in the state of Washington. And they have moved here. They bought a home here, and they both came into my office actually today. So that's a point of interest. And we had a great discussion. They've gone home to discuss all the requirements that we have and if they'll be able to do it. But the husband's very much interested in becoming an EMT. He works from home, and the wife would be interested in that as well, as long as they can do it with their 1-year-old, and then progress throughout the agency. He's young enough that if he wanted to become, test on the career side, he could in the United States. He has a green card here. He's from Australia with the accent and everything. And his wife is looking for, employment as a nurse. So I've asked her to reach out to the clinic, and she's interested in helping us out with our community paramedic outreach program as well. So public information sessions for the upcoming levy in November. So we've been having those. I publish those out to the community on ePost, WasPoint Interface, and also Nextdoor. So I encourage the public to come. If you have any questions, hear about the levy, what we want to do with the taxpayer funds received, the capital facilities and infrastructure needs that we have over the next decade and further out. How much that costs. Right now, we're $4 million unfunded needs within the district over the next 10 to 13 years. And that's the majority of what those funds are going to be utilized for, to improve that infrastructure. But also, to express to the public other things that'll be done is I want to be able to stop ambulance transport fees when people from this community are transported by this agency down to St. Joseph's. And that's specifically that if we take you all the way to the hospital, then there would be no billing for that. That goes along, I believe King County does something similar through their tax base, that King County does not charge for ambulance transport.
Is that residents or is that?
That's a good question. I know they have a similar program, but I don't know if it's just residents or if it's anybody and everybody, right? So those people coming in from overseas and if they have an issue. But I know they have a similar program down there. We would be the first in our area, if not region, to do something like that to benefit our public, so they wouldn't have to be concerned about being taken to collections, because right now this agency, like any other agency, does take our residents to collections if they're unable to pay the additional fees of ambulance transport, because we do have costs that need to be recouped. So people don't, well, what are the costs? And the costs are, ambulance fees, regarding our personnel, supplies, fuel, wear and tear on the ambulance, all of those costs add up, right? So we have to be able to recoup those as well. But if we are able to get the new levy passed, that would go away. So we would no longer charge for ambulance transports. Now, if we had a rendezvous or with North Whatcom or another agency to take you all the way down to St. Joseph's, that obviously they could continue to bill for that cost. And then Airlift Northwest obviously would bill. But if this agency takes you all the way down to St. Joseph's, then that would be part of your taxes. Another big part of that would be a Welcome Home program. And the Welcome Home program is to obtain a vehicle, obtain a staff of 3 to 5 people that would be on, rotating schedules 24/7, 365. That would be available to pick you up from the hospital and bring you home. And we have a lot of people that are sometimes sick that do not want to go to the hospital because they have no way home. And I believe that this agency would be able to extend that service if we are able to get our new levy approved come November. So obviously that comes with a cost. It comes with a new vehicle. It comes with paying a stipend to those individuals who would be driving down. And I would most likely be looking out to extend that to help people get to doctor's appointments and things like that in the years to come. But initially it would be, we'll come pick you up if we take you to the hospital. And even if we rendezvous with another agency and they take you to the hospital, we'll still come pick you up if you're a resident, if you're a community member here. So that is something that I would like to implement, but can't unless the new levy goes into play. Other things would be obviously complete the capital needs and projects, maintain and expand current level of service and day-to-day operations. I'd like to have more paramedic coverage here as well. So that would be able to bring on a couple more paramedics into our rotation for EMS providers. Maintain and expand the weekend duty program that everybody understands. We have firefighters here from Friday night to Sunday night, and they provide full coverage to the community. Provide all safety clothing to the volunteers. Right now, we're not able to provide all the clothing that's necessary for our volunteers. They have to spend their own money on certain items. And I would like to get past that they spend 2,500 to 3,000 hours on average a month here. And I would like to be able to provide them, the clothing to be able to do their jobs. Maintain and expand the community risk reduction programs. The one that people really know about right now is our community paramedic outreach. I'd like to do more CPR training, falls training, talk to people about hoarding in their residence and the dangers of that. Put on cooking safety classes, and there's other ones out there too that I'd like to look into. But I would definitely like to expand out our community risk reduction program, since we do have a older population here, 58 and a half, I believe, and older is our average age. Help people feel more comfortable about making their own meals and being safer at home, uncluttering their homes as well to make it safer for them in a fire or medical emergencies for us too. Provide volunteer safety programs and training. I would definitely like to do more in our training program here and our safety programs offered to our volunteers and to everyone. So it's just not our volunteer, but the community as well. So hopefully we could put that into effect if our levy was approved in November. And that pretty much covers what would be put into place or what would be taken away with the new levy. Other things, over the last 10 years, the levy really, 12 years of the current levy, we've been able to train over 36 new EMTs with that money, half going to the advanced EMT level. We've trained over 300 people from the community in CPR and first aid. So I think that's a very positive plus with that. We developed our community paramedic program. We purchased the new fire truck that people see driving around. It's more fuel efficient and maneuverable for the community as well. And then a big thing was the insurance rating reduction that we went from a 6 to a 5, which provides the potential of insurance cost savings for residential and commercial structures here. And we doubled the amount of volunteers. So since 2010, we've basically doubled the amount of volunteers that we had responding back in 2010 to now. And I think everybody can understand how many people it takes to provide the service to a community this size. And right now that's around 43 people, which include 2 ambassadors on our rosters. But it takes a lot of people. I think people saw that during the pandemic too, with all of our vaccination events and how many people it took to put those on. And without the people, we don't have a service. So I think it's very important to tell and help the public understand that it takes people to provide what we provide currently today. So that's basically it, what I want to say about the levy. So it'll be coming out on your ballots. They'll be mailed out in October, and it'll be for accumulation and coming to a head November 7th, I believe, is the final day of that. And hopefully we'll see that it passes and we'll be able to move into 2024 with renewed confidence that we'll be able to continue what we've been doing and what we've established currently and provide even more for this community. So does anybody have any questions on that? That was kind of a long explanation, but okay, I have nothing to report on any of the apparatus. 38 members, 25 Canadian, 9 Point Roberts, 4 county. We have 3 paramedics on staff, 13 EMTs, of which 5 are advanced EMTs, 1 ambassador. Actually, my wife's an ambassador as well, and 30 firefighters. Volunteer hours is still a situation with our new reporting system. So we are still not able to track as we were in emergency reporting. And it's a continual work in progress with emergency networking, which is our new reporting platform for our medical reports and our fire reports that go to the state and to the feds. And we'll continue working on it to bring back the volunteer hours so the public can know. Again, prior to the switching, we were averaging anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000, 2,500, around approximately 2,500 hours a month that all of your volunteers were giving back to this community and providing coverage. We haven't changed that. I mean, it's the same, but we just don't have the number to report to you on that. And I apologize, but we're working diligently with the new platform, and hopefully, if not by the end of the year, by the first part of 2024, we'll have access back to that and we'll have an accurate reporting process again. If all the volunteers are getting paid, it'd be $12,389. I worked 209.5 hours, and some of that was held at the conference in Kansas City. Chief Shields was 121 hours with a cumulative of 330.5 hours. Total calls, we had a busy month. We had 45 calls in the month of August 2023. We had 13 EMS calls. We transported 2 people to St. Joseph's. 2 airlift calls were taken to St. Joseph's. We had 7 no transports, 1 county medic rendezvous, and 1 county BLS units with North Whatcom Fire Rescue rendezvous. We had 9 community paramedic calls or visits. We had 5 public service, and we had 18 fire classifications. We had 1 permitted burn, 7 illegal burns. We had 5 false alarms. We had 3 power line issues. We had 1 water rescue and 1 carbon monoxide call. That a carbon monoxide alarm was going off and they were concerned. So we went over and metered the house and everything was okay. We changed out the batteries and nothing was found during that call. I want to remind the public that we still have carbon monoxide detectors available for free. It's coming up to the winter months, and I would like to see as many households as possible at least have 1 carbon monoxide detector inside their home. All the new builds, I believe, are now being just a combination of fire, smoke and carbon monoxide. So they're in one detector. But if you don't have a carbon monoxide detector in your home and you have fuel burning appliances, water heater, stove, heat, any furnace, things like that, please get a hold of us and we're happy to come by and install it for you and educate you on it. But it's coming up to winter months and everybody remembers the tragedy that we had a few years back where we had the double fatality inside a home here due to carbon monoxide poisoning. So please give us a call, send me an email, and let me know if you need one, and we're happy to provide it to you. So that completes my chief's report for the month of September for August of 2023, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, thank you, Chief. That was very comprehensive. Any new business? No. Nobody has any new business.
I don't think there's any new. I don't. I'm not sure who that is. I don't know if that is still All Point Bulletin or if that is our commissioner. So give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I'll
entertain a motion for adjournment. Okay, we are adjourning at 4:31.